It's Sunday, November 14th. I'm just walking this morning and I look up, and right on the ridge, right up here, are birds lined up all along the building. There's the flag over here that's not waving because there's no wind. But you see how high this is, the sun behind the clouds, and the birds are not even flying. Over here I saw 3 flying in a delta. Oh, now that some just took off. But it's almost like in the skyline, it's almost like flying has become so difficult and flying has become so painful that the birds sit. Yesterday they sat on the wires over here by this tower. Over here by this tower of electric, this one. And today they're sitting on a stone building, which I have a feeling, I'm not 100% certain, you'd have to ask an aficionado, but it looks like birds, they say, work, in English I've heard, they work off of magnetics and some kind of conducing polarization with magnetics, the Earth's energy grid, and so on and so forth. So there are some birds on the wire by the tower, on top of the train trestle. Hold on, let me take the umbrella down. However, this is where the train station's Bayside station. This is where the train is. But they're not even flying, which is kind of how I feel when I'm walking. It just seems like the energy and the magnetics are off, which is what I keep speaking on and reporting on. They installed something over here on this light pole. I have no idea what it is, who ordered it, is it now one of these NIH research facilities that are funded by nobody knows, that's in bed with all of the vaccine people giving out bioengineered shots because they have to fulfill some commitment to, they took money in some cycle that is psychosomatic and sociopathic. I'm just curious, as I'm hurt walking on the street. That should be the first clue that we are funding the wrong projects and the system is broken. But apparently that doesn't seem to be a priority. Priority seems to be some other broken system that they keep trying to force upon the people. Same area, if you look, all the cracks in the sidewalk and the degradation. I'm not talking aesthetics. Aesthetics is a part of it, but the real part is the fact of all these cracks. All these cracks that go on the street this way, across, they go this way. It is like being stretched and pulled, like the fabric, if you think of the fabric of space and time, being pulled and manipulated in ways, because it's, if we go from a circle of pure energy that is in the correct format, if it gets pulled out at any time, expansion and retraction, that's how you get cracks formated on where the people can visually see in the visible spectrum. But then you've got this X-ray light overhead in an open X-ray format. That's not conducive of healthy conditions that humans are walking underneath. And they just walk around as if they don't even notice it, they don't see it. And then there's some social system of just staying quiet and fighting the wrong fight and then being fed the wrong information in the wrong process, and this broken and dysfunction and dysphoria. It's so disorienting. It's really, and it's hard to watch because I try to have a conversation with Linda and Lou, and it's like they're so invested in the wrong way of doing things and educated in all the wrong language, in all the wrong steps, that, I mean, they can't even imagine taking whatever they thought a 4-letter word was and stripping it down to what does it actually mean. No, I know you hate Nazis. Got it. What is a Nazi? Define it. Like, they can't even get there because they just regurgitate what they were taught through the broken system of television. I'm not saying, I mean, it sounds like these were really horrible, nasty people. I heard that storyline. I just don't know. Symbolically, it's 4 characters, and there is some esoteric reason for them. So I don't really understand if there was like a politically motivated message at some point, why it's still being carried forward in the wrong way. Like, how do you ever fix anything if they keep perpetuating the wrong message and then fighting over the message, and then it's like, drop it. Drop it completely. You're a nothing. You live in nothingness. And now build the system back the correct way. Why do you keep perpetuating nothingness? There's an open x-ray machine above my head. I look like I live in a broken x-ray machine. The streets are cracked and time is expanding and contracting, and the streets show wear and tear, as does my body, being held in the system that I have no control over. And then everybody's fighting using words of all the wrong things. As we're being poisoned, and there's like no end in sight, and there's no structure even foundationally laid in order to build upon. So now I'm a little confused. Okay, so now I've got birds on the ground. I call them alouettes. I say alouette, gentil alouette. I just saw a man walking on the street. He had on combat camo. On the top it looked jungle motif, and on the bottom it was but it looked beech, B-E-E-C-H for tree color. And then on the bottom, the pants, pantalones, it looked snake skin, S-N-A-K-E-S-K-I-N, but in a different color motif, slightly between what I've seen in a Siberia, like snow setting. It's somewhere between the beech tree bark, which this is not a beech tree, this is some other kind of tree, but there is a tree that when the bark comes off, there's 3 colors between the actual skin of the tree, the intermediate skin, and then where the bark is. And that's what some of the camo is a color palette of. So, so I don't know. So he was wearing 2 different types, and he just was standing there. I've seen him in the neighborhood. He has not been combative to me, thank God. But I could see how somebody might find him. Somebody might say in a side conversation that he's not all there, but I have never spoken to the man, and I don't stop to engage in conversation with just anybody. I stay reserved, and I try to stay in my one swimming lane as I go back and forth between the house and my exercise walk of myself. Also this morning, on Sunday morning, they had Halle Berry, and apparently she does mixed martial arts. That was always a dream of like keeping oneself healthy once I got to wherever I belonged. But in this sociopathic, economic, crazy town, the dojos and the Brazilian jitsus and the mixed martial arts, whatever they call themselves, they cost a lot of money, and I have not been socially blessed with a compensation fund that pays me so I can seek out. Even when I went to the World's Gym in Ronkonkoma, Brendan worked at the gym, And he offered me, through Tommy Newman, he asked his boss, Tommy told Brendan that I could have a free membership. But it was asked about because I couldn't afford $70 a month. I was a mom with 3 kids trying to get physically fit and keep myself in shape and in health. But before that offer, I did not have money for the gym and I could not attend the gym. So these are like all of these real life struggles with the fact that like the work mechanics and money mechanics in Queens and Long Island have not been in my favor. In fact, it feels like it's been quite in the opposite, along with the staying involved with some form of intellectual community to keep me apprised of changing and drifting situations. I don't even know where to access these people. I may have had them at one point, but then you move and you lose touch. It's very difficult to keep reestablishing yourself in a shifting system. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. And it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.